guys, it's Jewel. Today I am at my log cabin that's on my property. It's been sitting for about 6 or 7 months just empty, waiting for me to do something with it. And I had been hemming and hawing for a long time with growing mushrooms. I did my research on it, I looked at a lot of videos on it, and it just seems so damn hard. It is hard, but I'm realizing as I've gotten into it that it's hard, but it's doable with a lot of study and everything else. So anyways, behind me is my cabin, which I'm now calling the mushroom house. It's coming along. It's going to be a lot of work, but I wanted to do some videos just to show the progress of it. Also some videos on my first set of blocks that I'm doing, how the fruiting is going along. They haven't even started to pin yet, so I'm going to be doing videos on everything from that, also to setting up my hydroponics tent. I've got about 2 weeks from now till my first mushrooms, they're oyster mushrooms, blue oysters, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks maybe, before I have to move them into the fruiting chamber, which isn't even built yet. I'm doing it, like I said, in the hydroponics tent, so I'll have a video on how easily that is to set up. So just keep on watching. Definitely subscribe if you want to see more of this adventure with me. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go inside the cabin. So if you want to see what's inside, keep watching. Okay, before we go inside, I just wanted to make one, or actually two little notes. One, the fact that I have an entire cabin or entire house, whatever you want to call it, to grow mushrooms in is probably a little bit out of the norm. I'm just working with what I have, and I needed to use this cabin for something, and this seemed like a really good place for me to do it. But having said that, I mean, people do it in their basements. I actually thought about doing it in mine. Actually, right now, my hood is in my basement. I just realized for me, if this thing takes off like I hope it does, that I'd want somewhere for it to be able to grow, and I can definitely grow in the cabin. But for sure, a room, a basement, a bathroom. I've seen them in bathtubs, whatever works for you. If you want to start growing mushrooms, do that. The second thing that I wanted to say is that through this whole thing, you know, I'm just starting, but I feel like I've already put so much time, effort, and sure money into it. Eric from Myers Mushrooms has been there to help me along the way, and I couldn't be doing this without him. He is mentoring me. I'm actually going to his workshop in the month of December. I'm really excited about that. But until then, I've just been doing some weekly sessions with him for mentoring, and I highly recommend that if you're interested in growing mushrooms, that you check him out, see what his availability is. Don't take my time though, I need my time. So anyways, it's always good to have someone to be able to ask questions to, in addition to like the forums on Facebook and everything else. Okay, so with that, let's go inside for real this time. Okay, so now we are inside. This is actually, let me turn around. This is the front door here, and this is the first room. It's actually going to be my office, and I know it kind of looks a hot mess. This is where I have been basically putting all of the spare things from the other rooms. I've been kind of dumping them in here so that I can clean the other rooms. This here is going to be my desk, and this is basically going to be my office. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's go into this other room. All right, so this room here, do not mind, I'm gonna give you a story on this whole glamour lighting setup. It's actually, this thing was like $900, so I'm not gonna be getting rid of it, but that's a whole nother issue. So let me turn this camera here. So as you can see, this room here is actually going to be my clean room. If you notice here, it's truly a log cabin. So all of the ceiling, let me go this way. The ceiling up here, it's all kind of connected, meaning the airflow is connected. I don't want things to get contaminated. So what I'm going to do is kind of right here behind me, this whole like little wall area. I'm going to have that with some plastic so that I can keep this space here really, really clean. And I'm going to have my laminar hood and everything set up through there, and my work desk for inoculations and all that good stuff. But yeah, so this is going to be the clean space right here behind me. And then the rest of this, It's just probably going to be for storage and anything else. Cool. All right. So let's go into the other room. This here is going to be the fruiting chamber. So what I have, I don't even know the measurements actually of this room. I know it's large enough to hold my fruiting chamber. What I'm doing for the fruiting chamber, instead of me building my own, not to diminish what chicks can actually do, but I am a chick. I don't have the best carpentry skills, so for me, I wanted to just buy something and have it done. So I bought a 10 by 10 hydroponics tent. I'll do another video on that, on how easy that is to set up. Hopefully it's easy. It's definitely gonna be easier for me than like building something from scratch like Eric did. He knows his stuff and stuff like that, and I don't. But one thing that you'll notice here, there's a window and a mini split system here. All the windows in this cabin have mini splits, and basically that system doesn't allow for clean air exchange. It's just, it recirculates the air in the room. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna have the tent set up in such a way that the exhaust fan and pipe will actually go through that window. I'm gonna open up the window. It's one of those, let me get out of here because the window is like super bright. But anyways, I'm gonna open up that window here and actually have the exhaust fan go out of the window. I'm gonna open it up just enough to where that can, the pipe or the tubing can fit through there. And then I'm going to take some plywood and some other materials, like insulating materials, to keep as much of the cold air out in the winter, and then, you know, through the spring, summer, whatever, do its thing. So that's pretty much gonna be it. I've got to get rid of this couch here and all of these backdrops. So that's the quick story. I was a photographer, and that's what that glam mirrors was for. That's where a lot of my clients got ready before I took, if I say so myself, amazing pictures of them. So, all right, this last room here is actually the incubation room. So I'm hoping to actually have this fireplace behind me sealed up. A fireplace, even though I have it, I have like some wire mesh and stuff over the top of it, over the top of the chimney, I should say. But it's a great place for flies, bugs. We have stink bugs in this area. I don't want anything, I want to limit as much as possible the amount of flies and things like that that come into this place, just to prevent contamination as much as possible. So I'm gonna have that walled up, hopefully sooner than later. Just again, it's a log cabin in the middle of the woods, so things are gonna get in, can't help that. Over here, one thing to note, this is my first shelving unit. I've got other ones already. I just need to put them together, and I've got a little bit of time because you see I've got 3 more shelves that I can fill up here. I've just been doing about 3 or 4 bags at a time. I've just inoculated my first, what's that, 6 bags or 7 bags right behind me. Today's a Monday. I started on Friday. I pasteurized 4 bags, and I pasteurized, I think, another 3 or 4 on Saturday. So 4 of these bags here were inoculated on Saturday. These were done yesterday, which was Sunday, but and I'll show a close-up of that. But one thing that I want to do, and what I did do for my other shelving units, is you can see, actually this way, there are no casters. There's no like rolling casters on the bottom. And one thing that Eric did, which I really, really like, is he has all of his shelves, even from inoculation, he's got them on rolling shelving units, so that you can literally just roll this from this room into the other room into the fruiting chamber. So I don't have my tent set up yet, so I'm hoping that I can do that. I know there's a lip in my fruiting chamber, but I'm hoping I can kind of push it down and roll in a shelving unit, but we'll see if that works. So if not, I guess it's not going to matter if I have, you know, rolling casters or not, because I won't be able to get it in, but I'm hoping that I can do that. So I'm going to turn the camera around just for a second and show you my first set of bags. Okay, so here, again, are my first set of bags, and I'll go through so far the good and the bad. Again, these 4, 2 here, 2 behind it, were done on Saturday, and then these 3 were actually done, they were inoculated, I should say, yesterday. So I'll kind of go in close, and it looks like they're already starting to colonize, actually, which is just awesome. So you can see kind of down below, like here, is the spawn that I put in, but then all the white up here, it looks like the mycelium is starting to work, do its thing. I'm like, you go mycelium, do your thing. One thing that I am noticing is there's a decent amount of condensation in all the bags. I do have my heater set up on 72 right now in this room, so it's not too hot. I'm hoping that this is normal. If it's not normal, I'm really hoping that mold doesn't get up in there. We'll see. Okay, so one last thing. This is great, I don't know, info, I'm thinking, for a newbie like myself. Number one, I had bought an impulse sealer, or I have an impulse sealer that I did buy. Bottom line, it did not work. I went to test it out before I did my first bags, and it didn't work at all. So I got to send it back to the company and get a new one. In the meantime, I had to use zip ties, which are totally fine. They work as well. But what I noticed is, I did my first. I think this was my very first zip tie, right? So I was trying to do it above this filter patch, so the filter patch was like nice and open, blah blah blah. So I did my zip tie like normal, had some air in there. I didn't, get all the air out like you're supposed to. So I had some air in there, and then I went to shake the bags to, get the spawn and the sawdust. By the way, this is sawdust and grain. I have not been able to find soybean hulls to save my life out here. So that's sawdust and grain. Sawdust and bran rather. And so anyhow, so I did that very top zip tie, and I'm shaking it around to mix everything up. And of course it wasn't sealed like quite right, and I've got substrate falling everywhere, I've got spawn falling everywhere. So I had to do this second zip tie to really like tighten it all up. And you see I did get some of that filter patch. I'm sure it's probably going to be fine that some of the filter patch is tied up. I was trying not to do that, try to make everything perfect, but just a note of caution if you're doing your first zip tie bags, you might want to just bring it a little lower. You see I had to do the same thing here. I had stuff flying everywhere back there too. These were done yesterday, and one thing to note, I guess the reason why these are so I didn't have as much room. I didn't fill these up quite as much. These I think are just totally overdone, and I got a big fat daddy back here. One thing already that I know I'm going to change is I really do need to weigh out the bags to around 5 pounds. Like this sucker back here, I don't know if you can really tell or not. I mean that thing's got to be like 7 or 8 pounds or something crazy like that. So I want them to be as uniform as possible, around 5 pounds. Plus that helps with the pressure cooker. So I am using the Presto pressure cooker until my sterilizer arrives, which I'm not even sure when it arrives. It could be a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But I did go through Bubba's, and I purchased the sterilizer that Eric from Myers Mushrooms actually helped design. And again, I'm a chick who doesn't know anything about all the electrical work and duct work and blah blah blah. Like I just want things a little bit simpler, so Bubba could actually do it for me for obviously a fee, greater than a cost than doing it yourself, but that was fine with me. I just need a little bit of simplicity in my life. I'm a mom of 3, you get the idea. So anyways, that's pretty much it. These bags again are on 2 days and 1 day after inoculation respectively, and at least to me, the untrained eye, look like they're doing pretty good. So yeah, basically the next thing I've got to do is get that tent set up so that when these are ready to go in the fruiting chamber, that I actually have a fruiting chamber ready to go. Okay, so that's it from now. I hope that you enjoy this video. Actually, here's just a quick shot. Watch my step of the entire cabin. I'm actually storing some hay here to my left for some of my goats for the winter, so don't even mind that. But anyhow, I hope you enjoy this, and I'll keep posting some videos as this mushroom house keeps hopefully getting better and coming along. Take care. Thanks so much.